It's now time for NRG This Week. NRG stands for Network Referral Group. To learn more about NRG, go to their website, nrg.online. It's now time for another episode of NRG This Week.
Hey everybody, Mike Weiner here, NRG This Week, March 8th, 2026. I'm going to be a solo act today. Leon Thomas, who's usually with me, has another appointment. Just wanted to start this off, and if you need to reach me, my cell number is 443-756-9656. You can always email me, Mike at networkreferralgroup.com, and my website is nrg.online. So if you're first time checking in, I run a networking organization. I am well into my 26th year. We used to do live meetings, and we went to Zoom when COVID hit, and we are across the country now and in about 9 countries, 18 states, and growing. And Friday, if you are available, jump on my Zoom, 4 o'clock Eastern. We are talking about putting together a TV show all about networking that I will be hosting. And you can jump on my Zoom. It's 367-333-9689. That's 4 p.m. this Friday, March 10th. So I'm very excited to have Renee Cooper with me. She is a brand new NRG member, and she is out of the warm state of Florida. I'm asking her to bring me some warm weather. It's very cold here in Maryland. So, Renee, I'm going to bring you aboard now, and it's great to have you here. How are you doing today on this beautiful day in Florida? Maybe having technical issues down there.
I can't hear. I'm so sorry.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Renee, turn your volume back on your cell phone.
Yes. Turn your cell phone back on. Volume. While we wait for Renee, if you haven't been to an NRG meeting, you will get 3 referrals when you come out. And then as a new member, you'll actually get 30. We have a very unique proprietary system called Pinball. Stands for Power Partners, Industries, and Named Accounts. So we have a family feel here. Renee, are you back? Are you here from Florida?
I'm back from the hotter and hottest state. Yes, I am.
I killed 2 minutes right there. So Renee, how are you today? Now that we can hear you.
Great. I'm just great.
Just roll with it. Okay.
Just rolling. Yes.
It's all good. We this is live and we're recording it, so it's all good. Now Rome wasn't built in a day. So Renee, take 2-3 minutes, talk a little bit about what you do, and then I'll delve into some other questions. But for our viewing audience, take 2-3 minutes, talk a little bit about what you do, Renee.
Well, thanks so much, Mike, for having me today. I really do appreciate it. So basically, instead of talking about what I do, I want you to just imagine for a minute what it's like for you when you hop on to a meeting or when you go into a meeting and you hear someone that is so high level, so brilliant, such an expert, but as soon as they start speaking, you disconnect. Does that happen to you a lot? I'm going to guarantee the answer is yes. And the reason why this is happening is because we have been trained starting when we were students to write speeches from a way that doesn't allow us to connect to our audiences. More often than not, people sound scripted and rehearsed, or they're just not able to match their expertise along with their communication and the power of being able to step into moments and bring audiences down a specific path or a journey. We're too stuck in just ditching out the details and the facts and the evidence, and we lose people that way. So if you've ever sat in a meeting bored out of your mind, or if you're listening to a CEO or you're listening to someone give their laundry list of all the incredible things that they do, and you're just sitting there going, this is the problem. We have been taught to be performative. We're in a performative culture. Look the part, sound the part, be perfect when you show up. And what then happens is you disconnect from the very intention you have had for that audience or group you're speaking to. So, what I do is my life's work. I help leaders and teens match their expertise and their experience and their knowledge to match their communication. So it doesn't much matter if they're in an interview or if they are applying for a college, a college spot or a specific position in a company, or if they are speaking in the boardroom. I help them show up with more presence so that they're in alignment with their message. Because let's face it, Mike, I'm sure you can attest to this doing this long, as many years. I'm not going to age you. But we know it's not what people say, it's how you make them feel in the process. And we know when we're either being sold to or pitched to, or when something is just not authentic and not honest or genuine, right? So that's what I help. So that's what I help people do, regardless of the level that they're at in their career, or if they're an entrepreneur or teen audiences. I help them take their message and allow them to be aligned in their message so that they show up more powerfully and that they can step into their voice and get the results that they want, whether it's more conversions, more sales, more impact, just more genuineness, because we know the biggest struggle of companies today, Mike, is all about the problems because of lack of communication. So that's what I do. How do I do it? Through speaking, coaching, one-to-one. That's my practice, and I love being on stage working with teens and helping associations and their members do a better job of exactly what I just said. So I hope that answers it.
Yeah, well, you did. And the way you answered my first question, I always ask this as a second question. I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What's the backstory? And I think I know where you're going. You probably heard someone that was not communicating well, but what's the backstory for Renee? Why did you get into this specialty field of coaching?
Well, thank you for asking that, Mike. This is an amazing question. I love answering it, and I'll tell you why. Most people are categorized in two ways. If they're outspoken, they're automatically assumed to be great communicators. And those people that are more introverted or more shy are labeled as not being great communicators. That cannot be further from the truth. When I started out in my career, I was in the fundraising space, and my job was to do 3 or 4 presentations, sometimes a day, or 3 or 4 or 5 a week. It depended on the week. And more often than not, when I would speak in front of audiences, I noticed that my colleagues were in a rush to get it done, get the information out, do the pitch, get it done to the next one. And for me, I realized early on, this is way before the internet, that audiences were shutting down from me. Why were they shutting down? Because I thought that I needed to sound like Tony Robbins. For the first 2 years in my career, because I'm of short stature, 5'2" with heels, that's the truth, I thought that I needed to be loud in order to be heard. The louder I was, Mike, guess what happened? People tuned me out. We didn't have cell phones to look at then, but we sure had our briefcases or we sure had our journals. And I noticed people were always like looking down to do something, distracted. We all get distracted when we're tuned out from a speaker. And we may look like we're paying attention, but we're really doing something else. So I failed miserably the first couple of years speaking. And then through being in Toastmasters, I've been a lifelong member of Toastmasters and Dale Carnegie Leadership. I realized that in order for an audience to get me, I needed to be with them. John Maxwell says it best. If we can all understand that we're not talking at people, but we want to talk with people, we want to be in conversation, That doesn't matter if we're speaking to 10,000 people in front of in a massive stadium, or if we're talking to just 2 people or 3 people. That's the shift that I love working with clients on. And that's the lesson that I had to learn after people tuned me out. The more I could be with them, be in their world, know my audience, know what they really care about, know what they really need to hear before I made that ask for them to go into their pocket. I knew that's what's going to grab them. And that's what I started practicing and perfecting in my career. I hope that answers the
I
question.
love that, Renee. I love that. I love that answer. What would you say would be, without mentioning their name, a client testimonial? Maybe it's someone that you've helped, I don't know, double their income, 3 times as many clients. What's been a really good, take 2, 3 minutes, share with us a client testimonial, one of your clients that you've been able to really impact.
Oh, jeez. Thank you. This is a little hard to pick.
Just pick
Not,
your
I don't
best
say
one.
that in a boasting kind of way, but this is a little hard to pick. I'm going to start out with my first client. I'm going to start with the first person I worked with a few years ago, Dr. Wang. Dr. Wang was one of the top in her field in California, an eye doctor, an ophthalmologist. She was sought out. She had a huge practice and she was on her game. And you know what I find quite fascinating, Mike? When she hired me, she had said, you know what? I'm just like over it. I'm over giving the same speeches over and over. I'm over all the evidence, all of the data. Everything is black and white with me. And she was moving into holistic medicine. And in the process of moving into holistic medicine, she needed to completely alter the way that she processed information. Imagine going to medical school, being in the top of your field, being invited to conferences to share data, empirical evidence about specific, procedures of the eye, and now you want to move to the whole body. It was a radical shift for her. And what she reported back to me was that she opened doors that she never thought possible for her practice, because now she was starting to see the whole person, but be able to communicate feelings and emotions about the story she was telling to get people to come into her practice. So I don't have exact numbers for her per se, but just that shift of getting out of that black and white zone of the way some people communicate so that she could open up her doors to a whole new set of possibilities for her patients was really transformative and still gives me the chills when I talk about that story.
That is very cool, Renee. I love that. I love that. All right.
Thank
So
you.
you and I met a couple of months ago. I remember your first NRG meeting, Rockville, Maryland. What
Yes,
would be your NRG testimonial? You know, a lot of folks have never been to a networking group or they have had not good experiences. You
that's it.
come here, we're family run, and I'm proud of that. All about law of attraction, abundance. What would be your testimonial? What would you say someone's watching this for the first time? They've either had no experience with networking or not a good one. What would be your advice for them coming out and checking out NRG?
I'm so glad you asked me this too, Mike, because I remember having the conversation with Terry, and she said to me, Renee, energy is not like what you've experienced. And of course, I was, bad mouthing my local chamber and all the reasons why most of us left the chamber and how giving we were of using others' businesses, but they weren't giving us leads. And she said, Renee, I promise you, this is going to be a different experience. It has been a truly different experience. And I'm so thrilled that I have the opportunity to make these connections around the country. Because again, when you're in a chamber, you're meeting local people. But to have the ability, number one, to have a bigger scope and a bigger reach to meet people that truly do care. It isn't about your pitch per se, it's learning about the person, it's getting to know them, and then having them front and center as long as you're visible and as long as you show up. And I've never had that experience before where each and every time I come to a meeting, they'll say, "Oh, have we connected you with this person? Have you reached out to this person? Have you thought about reaching out to this person?" And it's like it's so refreshing because unfortunately a lot of networking groups, it's like you're recycling the same information with the same people, or like I said, you're not really getting any leads. So I would have to say that's what keeps me, I'm really grateful that I joined NRG.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Love your kind words. Appreciate it. So, um, Leon, who's usually here with me, he does this really cool racquetball thing. Renee works
Oh,
with kids from 7 all the way up in their 60s.
wow.
And just doing Q, there's Jay, racquetballrevival.com. Always plug that when I'm running this solo. So,
Oh,
Renee,
that's
we are
cool.
going to take a commercial break. And when we come back on
Okay.
the other side, we're going to continue our conversation with you. I remember the first time I met you. I remember, I never judge anyone, but I always have a first impression, obviously. And I was like, this lady is cool. And you were just someone I could talk with, and we've been able to talk, really get to know each other. I
Yes.
would like you to do me a favor. I'm getting tired of the bipolar weather in Maryland. Please send me. It was 82 on Saturday. It was down to 20s this morning. So you
That's
got to do me one
bipolar.
favor, Renee. You're giving me lots of love, but I need some weather.
I'm
It's been
happy to. My daughter goes to school in Maryland. She's studying abroad right now. I am happy to put a
it's
bunch of
cold.
hot air on a plane right now and get it right there to you, Mike. I will
So
do my power, use my power.
I appreciate that. So Renee, we're going to be right back.
Sounds good.
We're going to go to
I'll be here.
commercial break, and then I will look forward to talking with you a little bit more
I
on
appreciate
NRG
it.
this week. We will be right back after
Sounds
this
good.
commercial message.
Don't go away. Come back.
Don't go anywhere.
At Rod's Car Repairs, we work on all cars, old cars, new cars, and your car. Car Repairs by Rod.io.
Baked by Brianna has been your Baltimore hometown bakery since 1969. Located in Roxton Plaza, Baked by Brianna. Visit bakedbybrianna.io.
From the creative team that brought you The Browning Project and Dead by Morning comes a new thriller that will change the way you look at white-collar crime forever. Falling from the Sky.
Water. It's everywhere. We drink it, we bathe with it, we cook with it. Coffee's made with water. Toilets won't flush without it. It's used for washing clothes, dishes, utensils, pots, pans, floors, and our teeth. Plants and crops need water, animals drink it, and fish need it too. And don't forget, we can have a lot of fun in the water. Water. What will we do without it?
I'm Leon Thomas with the Leon Thomas Group. Podcast, virtual events, webinars, streaming shows, and so much more. We want to be your partner in all things virtual.
Hey, everybody. Mike Weiner, NRG CEO and founder, NRG This Week. We are talking with Renee Cooper from Florida today. Renee, I got to ask you this question. You do a lot of coaching. You help people. How does it make you feel when someone comes back to you and they go, Renee, you changed my whole life, my whole career? What kind of personal satisfaction does that give you? How do you feel when they come back and give you that amazing feedback?
I got to say, I haven't thought about that enough, but now that you're giving me the chance to, really, right? Because you're always on to the next, thing or the next project.
What's next?
It's so important, and it speaks to what I speak about all day long and breathe, especially with my clients. To be able to be present to it, to watch the change in action, not just to hear the feedback or see the great testimonial, but to see the shift in the person as I'm connecting with them and watching them in their element and doing their thing and reporting back to me with good news or new observations, it honestly brings me so much, it's so much joy. And the reason why I have regrets about, not stepping into my work sooner. Like, I knew for over 15 years the work that I was meant to do, but I stayed in the traditional 9 to 5. Yes, I was speaking, but I just didn't know how to start the business. I didn't know how to, take that next step and do my thing. So I was doing it very part-time here and there, for many years, helping people. It truly is transformative. It's transformative when you start to see how the shifts are taking place, because they're sometimes they're small, but then they amount to something even bigger when you see somebody show up differently. It's hard to put into words, actually.
Yeah, you know what? They can be small, but they build on each other. And I mean, you and
Yeah,
I have seen that over the. I've been doing this in my 26th year now,
it's
networking. It's
remarkable.
crazy. Over 2.5 decades. It blows
Wow.
my mind thinking about it, and all the changes have gone on in the world,
Sure.
in
Right.
my life, and certain
Yeah.
things are common, and I'm going to wake up and network and try to figure out who I'm going to impact next.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's a lot of what you do too. So
Yeah.
Renee, what have I not asked you that you're dying to talk about? It can be personal, it can be
Ah.
business, it can be a specific
Ah.
to your business. I love asking that
It's great.
question. What
Well,
have I not
thank
asked?
you. You know what? I love that you're asking that, because then that's helping me isolate, what do I want to sprinkle? What do I want to layer onto this great conversation we're having? It's interesting. You were doing a little promo bit for someone who's in racquetball, correct? Is that
Yes, Leon.
okay?
Leon.
Leon.
Yeah.
So, I want to give kudos to racquetball for just a minute, or what I refer to as the tennis match. Communication, okay, and every single moment is an energy exchange. And most people do not realize that. You can act as though you got your crap together, okay, or you have it all together. But if you don't show up with a certain energy, your audience is going to feel it. And that's another reason why it is so important to make sure that you're throwing that ball, that racquetball, tennis ball, it could be any ball, back and forth. When you have something to say, let it land. Again, we've been taught to just keep talking and talking and talking and talking. Your audiences are not hearing or digesting half of what you're saying if you don't give it a break, or as John Maxwell calls the power of the pause. Shoot a thought. Stay quiet for just a second. See what gets created in that moment when you share that thought. You can see people's brains moving. You don't need to do a Q&A to have an effective talk. But the pausing, or what I call throwing that tennis ball and allowing it to be thrown back, is a part of the communication exchange that most people don't realize. So that's my mantra. Think of communication like a tennis match, and
I love that.
allow yourself to, like, put emphasis on certain things. Like a thought within certain words within that thought might have more power and meaning than another thought. And that's where all of the advanced skills come in, of vocal melody and projection and intonation, because you're putting emphasis on something that you really want your audience to hear. But it's okay to be quiet. It's actually masterful to be quiet as you communicate. So that's the thing that I want to share.
So if I stay quiet for the next 20 seconds, now I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't say 20,
I
but
won't. Yeah, and I don't know if you ever. Once in a while, where I feel like it's like, all right, take a breath. I'll pause, and it's for everybody else, but it's also for me, because
absolutely.
my attempt is always to be at a high vibration.
Yep.
And when I'm having my better weeks and months and years, I'm at a high vibration, and I give that off. And I see members come in networking, and their energy is so off. And
That's
they're
what I'm
not,
saying.
if they are not bringing it to their networking organization, what are they doing with their clients or prospects? That
100%.
vibration is so vital.
It's so important. And to add on to what I was talking about, it's about intention. And I've heard you talk about this too. When you
Intentionality.
go on to this networking call, what is your intention? Sometimes we are low energy. We have to step into what is the intention of being here? What do we stand for? What does our business stand for? Maybe it's just identifying the 3 words. You know, I stand for freedom. I stand for courage. I stand for boldness. Put a label to your business so that when you step into a networking session, you can show up more powerfully and aligned with your intention for being there, just like you were saying, because your energy will throw people off.
Yeah, absolutely. I see people come in and they're talking about 3 different businesses they run, and it's like, you know what? You're all over the place, and people are going to come back to me, and they do, Renee, and they go, "What does he do? What does she do? I couldn't
See,
follow
that's
it."
it too. Now you're getting into something that I get into with my clients a lot. And there's a lot of research that has been done on how much the brain can process at a time. And to be quite
Right.
frank with you, that's why, again, like I'm for like not sharing a laundry list of the things that you do. Pick 1 or 2 things, not
Right.
more than 2. If you have to 3, okay, but never more than 2 to 3
Yeah,
ever. That's
I agree.
enough.
I agree. All right, I'm going to ask you the last question, which we always talk about. And I don't know, I have not asked you this before.
Okay.
Sports. Leon and I talk sports, baseball, football.
Oh
Is there
no.
and if it's okay if there's not, is there a favorite team that you have? And
All
if you
right.
don't have one, it could be Ravens because I'm from Baltimore. But
Nope, sorry. I do need to honor my dad, combat war veteran from Korea. He's been gone now a long time. I miss him dearly. I was born and bred to be a Yankee fan, and that will never ever change.
oh my gosh, and you being Yankee and I'm Orioles, and the Yankees are the only team in the American League East above 500 this year.
Well,
Even
there
my
we
Orioles
go.
have lost more than they've
I
won.
I
So
brought my New York to South Florida, just like every other New Yorker that's
there
planted
you
here.
go.
So
Well, who's won more World Series than anybody else? The Yankees, right?
that's
And it's
it.
all the way back to Babe Ruth and
That's
beyond.
it.
So,
Yep.
all right.
I
So we
believe
will
the
wrap with
original. I
me.
believe the original that Yankee Stadium is definitely haunted. My dad and I used to talk about that for
That's
sure.
right. Well, Renee, it's been great having you
It's
here
been
today. I
awesome.
know we'll
Thank you.
be on some Zoom soon, but
Thank you
appreciate
so
you
much.
being here.
Mike, can
Absolutely.
I ask you a quick question before we close?
Sure. Absolutely.
What's your takeaway for yourself? What's the one thing that you got out of this conversation?
Out of
One
talking to
gold
you,
nugget. Yeah, one gold nugget that you got.
you know what? And I was sharing with you before the show started. It's been a little quieter this week. And it reminds me, I got to make sure my vibration is high first for myself and then because I project out. And I noticed, over the last 25 years, if there's a time or two that I don't come with my energy, people call me out on it, Renee. And right or wrong, they'll call me out on it. So I owe it to myself to be the best version of me that I can be. And even when I don't feel like it, I got to and you know what? If you pump yourself up and you get that vibration high, you're going to be better and you're going to smile and you're going to interact and you're going to
Totally.
make a difference. So I
And you know
love that.
what? And we can allow ourselves 30 seconds before a Zoom meeting or any meeting to just set that intention for yourself. Even define it with words because the brain likes words. What do you stand for in your business? Like, think of it that way. If you're standing for, like I said, I stand for courage, bold leadership, courage and bold leadership. Those are my 3 words. And whenever I'm
I love it.
intimidated or I feel upset about something, I always say, okay, wait a minute. I'm about to stand for courageous, bold leadership. That's who I stand for. And that what allows me to step into something differently.
I love it. I love it. Well, Renee, thank you for being here. I'm going to
Thank you
wrap
for
up.
having
We're going to
me.
take 2 minutes,
I
wrap up.
appreciate it.
Hang with us. So, again, if you are around on Friday, that is April the 10th, 4 o'clock Eastern, jump on my Zoom, hear more about this networking show. There's never been a show about networking that we're aware of. So, jump on my Zoom Friday, 4 o'clock. It's 367-333-9689, no password. And for Renee and Leon, I'm going to sign off for today. It's been great having you here. We will see you again next week for NRG This Week. Make it a great week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.